spiritual principle that you are going to engage in, I have 3 things that I wrote here that I have discovered to be so important. They could be more, but I don't know about those. I'm just gonna share with you what I have learned in my own journey and where I am now. So these 3 things are, the first one is you want if you are going to engage, for example, in our case right now, worship, you want to understand why you are doing it. Why are you worshiping? Why are you doing it? Why does God hold like worship at such a high level? Why am I doing it? Why am I engaging in it? Right? So that's so important, not just for worship, but for any spiritual principle that you want to start obeying or giving yourself to. You want to understand, why am I doing it? Right? The second thing is you want to know the results connected to that principle. So for every principle that the Lord has given us, whether you obey it, there's a positive result to it. Whether you decide to disobey it, there's a negative effect attached to it. So whatever side you choose to take, whether obeying or disobeying, there's a result connected to it. And you want to understand the results, not just the positive one, but the negative one. Because sometimes we may decide to take on a principle and live by, but we only know the positive results of it. We don't know the negative effects that are attached to it when we disobey it. And we might suffer if we disobey at one point and we wonder, like, God, I've been obedient in this, but the question is, have you truly been obedient? Because if you've been obedient, you're not supposed to be like, how do I put it? You're not supposed to be facing the negative side of that principle. So it means that you might have disobeyed in some way. So you want to make sure that you know the positive results and the negative results of that thing, right? In case at some point you disobey it, right? Okay. The third thing is this principle a lifetime thing, or it's a seasonal thing? So you want to be able to know that. For example, worship is not seasonal. We are mandated to worship for the rest of our lives. In fact, even when we go to be with the Lord, we're just going to be worshiping, singing and dancing and praising, right? So in our case, worship is not a seasonal thing. It's something that every believer must give themselves to, because that's how God created it, and that's how He wants it to be in our lives, right? So these are the 3 things I wanted to share before we get into our discussion for today.